So we have arrived at the end of the season. It's not been the greatest of seasons for us, but at the same time, it's not been a complete loss. We have successfully retained our Premier League title. This here is how the league table finished. So, top of the league, 95 points. Manchester United were close in, 4 points behind us in the end. Weren't a great run into the end of the season. Our form dropped. We got the 3-0 win over Tottenham, 1-1 against Brighton, the 3-1 win over Fulham, which you guys saw when we clinched the title. We then drew with Liverpool 0-0, and then drew with Stoke 3-3 in the last game of the season. Stoke really needed that draw just to secure themselves Premier League football next season. So on to the Chelsea awards for the season. Fans Player of the Season is Erling Haaland, who has got 78% of the vote. He has been fantastic this season. He scored plenty of goals. He was at the forefront of everything we've done going forward. We only had 3 players that actually got into double figures this season, and Haaland smashed them all at that. Goal of the season come from Jude Bellingham. Let's see if we can get that up. So the goal of the season comes here. We've got Magno back to Skip. Skip sends a nice wide ball out wide to Bellingham there. Bellingham takes on his man and then puts it in the far corner to get us the 2-goal lead there. I am not sure that was the best goal in my opinion, but that is what we have decided was the best goal of the season. Signing of the season was again Haaland, 90 million from Borussia Dortmund. It was a risk when we brought him in, but it was the right decision in the end. And the young player of the season was Magno. Again, we couldn't really find a space for him towards the end of the season. And if we actually have a look, he hasn't actually made the team of the season. So if we just look at the team of the season, you've got Kepa in goal, you've got Reece James, Tomori, Brewster is actually in there ahead of, who were we usually playing there? Duchel, I think it was, and Norman on the left. Pellegrini and Kovacic were the holding players, so no room for Louise in there. And then Chiesa, Morano, and Matthias Humberto, surprisingly ahead of Bellingham on the left-hand side of the front three, and Haaland up top. So if we take a look at the stats, Haaland hit 46 goals in all competitions this season. He also had the highest average rating with a 7.79, nothing to be sniffed out of there. Most assists come from Pellegrini in the midfield spots, considering he takes the corners and the free kicks. It's not a surprise that he's well up there. Best cut pass completion come from Anders Christensen. Never played a great deal of games, I think probably about 15. We'll just check here. So throughout the whole season, 11 starts, 3 off the bench. Next up was the most player of the match awards. That come from Erling Haaland, 13. Most yellow cards was Oliver Skip and the naughty boys this season. Tomori, Pellegrini, Tagliafico, Mount and Skip all picking up a red card each. So maybe a little bit of ill discipline this season. So the Chelsea 25-26 season review. It was a memorable season for Chelsea as they tasted success in the Premier League, European Super Cup and English Community Shield. Chelsea had been expected to make much of the Premier Division title running and lived up to their pre-season billing, finishing top of the pile. It was a superb season for the Blues as they claimed their second successive league title to back up the pre-season credentials. So we lost in the first knockout round to Wolfsburg in the Champions League, which was not, I'd say that's probably the low point for us this season. Premier League was a winner. We went out the FA Cup to Manchester United. We won the Super Cup. We lost in the 4th round to Bournemouth of the Carabao Cup, albeit with a very weakened team. And we won the Community Shield. And as you can see down here, the league positions, we hit top spot after the second game and we just stayed there. There was no stopping us. We juggernauted our way through the league this season. Match of the season was the 2-1 win over Manchester United in late November. And the moment to forget was the 4-1 thrashing Man United gave us in the return fixture. We had a 100% attendance record of 39,500. Remember, we've got a limited attendance at the moment due to the upgrade of the stadium, which will be completed in July. And we used 25 players in total this season. On a side note there, Erling Haaland's been named the Footballer of the Year winner. We'll have to give him a congratulations on that. Haaland's also picked up Player of the Year and was awarded Top Goal Scorer award. I think all of them were pretty much guaranteed. Kepa picked up the Golden Glove this season with 19 conceded, 24 clean sheets. Next up was Pickford of Everton and then Leno at Arsenal. I was named Manager of the Year. That's the 5th time I've been named Manager of the Year in the career that I've been in. And the Chelsea players that are named in the Team of the Year for the Premier League is Kepa in goal, Reece James, Tomori in the 4 centre-back positions. Fleetwood Louise and Bellingham make the midfield lineup, and Haaland joins Dybala up top. The board have decided to upgrade the youth facilities. It's going to cost $2.5 million and take 7 months, but it will make sure that we continue to have the best youth facilities possible at this level. So we've had our commercial summary come in for the season. We've had a soft drinks partnership that's put us up by 1.3 million. Sponsorship in general is down a little bit from last season, as is the corporate and hospitality, and the match day commercial and retail revenue. Broadcast revenues are down as well, but the competition and prize money is up. I can only think most of this has come because we went out of the Champions League so early and having a limited capacity at our stadium for the season. So I should imagine this will all rise next season once we've got the 59,000 seats. I think the stadium's being expanded to. As for the merchandising, Haaland, as we probably could have told you at the start, sold the most shirts. Pellegrini, Kovacic, James and Magno made up the rest of the shirt sales. So we'll take a quick look at the end of season stats for the players that we've had at the club this year. So looking at the 2 goalkeepers we've had play, Kepa had 52 games in goal, and Dean Henderson, who got in for free in the summer, made 5 appearances. He kept 3 clean sheets in them 5 appearances, so not too bad as a backup goalkeeper there. Kepa, on the other hand, he had his 29 clean sheets out of 52. Now, there's a good chance that Kepa will not be our number 1 next season. As I said in a previous episode, we have agreed a deal to bring in a new goalkeeper. It's costing us £112 million. I'm just hoping that he's going to be a worthwhile keeper. So let's have a look at the defence. Reece James and Bonucci were our right backs. So it's 39 starts for Reece James, 15 for Bonucci. James managed to hit 9 assists in his 39 games, 5 assists for Bonucci in his 15. Mistakes, 70 mistakes from Reece James in 39 starts, whereas it was 20 for Bonucci. Reece James had the better average rating of a 7.35. And if we take a look at the defenders, has been quite shared in the amount of starts for everyone. Christensen's actually made the least amount of starts. As far as mistakes go, per 90 minutes, I would say Brewster's probably made the least amount of mistakes, and he's the youngster that's actually coming through at just 19, likely to become one of our mainstays at some point, possibly at this next season. Depends if we move Bouchard into one of them defensive midfield roles, which is quite possible. As far as which players actually got most points per game, we can see again it's Brewster with 2.54. Best average rated player was also Brewster with a 7.31. Now, it really is pointing towards possibly Brewster's going to be the man that we use as one of our mainstay centre-backs, probably alongside Tomori. We're then looking at the wing backs, so that would be Tagliafico and Norman. Tagliafico making 18 starts, Norman making 39. 40 mistakes from Norman to Tagliafico's 23. Again, 7.31 to 7. Tagliafico's on his way out at the end of this season. His contract's up. I'm not renewing it. I will have to go and find a new left back, but I'm pretty sure the left back's going to be a backup to Norman as opposed to a mainstay in the team. We then look at the midfielders that we've got, which will include Kovacic, Mount, Skip, Pellegrini, Luiz, Greco. Those are the midfielders that are in them holding roles and the centre of the park. And again, best average rating out of all of those there would be Pellegrini. He has been a real top player for us. He's been our go-to guy as far as assists go. He's always, when he's played, shown that he's a very strong player, gets the job done. But the player that's actually took the most points per game he's been involved in is Greco. Now, he was only involved in 6 starts this season. A major injury at the start of the year kept him out. It'd be interesting to see if we can get him back into the team next year, just how many points per game he can pick up for us there. The front attacking midfielders. Again, if we have a look down here, there's 2 that stand out as far as the average ratings go. You've got Magno and Chiesa. Now, the interesting thing here is both of them were playing on the right side of the front three, and both of them seem to have picked up the best average ratings. Both seem to be doing quite well with goals scored. Whereas if we look at the other side, where Bellingham and Humberto were, for the amount of games they were playing, they got the better of the assists. So it's rather interesting, that, to be honest with you. Points per game, the player that achieved the most points per game when he played was Hitarian, 2.57 points per game. So again, I'm thinking all these players will probably be there next season. Maybe Olmo will be on his way out. He's got a 6.78 average rating out of the 4 starts he's made. He weren't part of my plans. I've only started putting them in at the end of the season, mainly to try and draw some interest in this transfer window coming up. And then if we look at the 2 strikers, Haaland played 40 starts and got 46 goals. And then De Beal made 13 starts and got 13 goals. So both averaging a goal a game pretty much. Haaland well above him in average rating, 7.79. 2.39 points per game for Haaland, 2.29 points per game for De Beal. Anything over 2 points per game, a player's doing well. You can't moan at anything over 2 points a game. And then if we actually have a look at shots per 90 minutes, 8.2 from De Beal, 6.48 from Haaland, yet Haaland converted more. So you would say Haaland's actually had the better of the shot ratio there. Okay, so I think I've made a decision on the players that I am in need of for this transfer window. As we can see here, I've got the 12 subs and 11 starting positions that I will be using. So we've pulled a goalkeeper out. I've got a goalkeeper coming in this man here, Desiree. As we can see, he really does look solid. And he is the man that's going to be replacing Kepa as our #1 goalkeeper. 112 million I've agreed to pay for this guy. I really hope that he's going to live up to what I would expect him to. That will cover the goalkeeping position, which means Kepa will be our reserve goalkeeper now. At right back, we'll have James continuing as the right wing back, and Bonucci will be his backup. Tomori will be the right centre back, with Christiansen as his backup. Brewster, who has made a fine start to his career last season. These are his stats at the moment, his attributes. I am going to continue to develop him next season, and he's going to have a partnership with Tomori in our defence. And Norman will make the full English back line up Again, we will need to bring in a backup centre-back and a backup left-back, as we do not have anyone to fill these positions. I will go through our developments, see if we've got any players coming through, but it looks as though they're the 3 positions that we need to fill this transfer window. And with 1 goalkeeper coming in already, we've only got 2 positions left to fill. Now Louise will play the Vol role, and he will be joined by Gouchard, who's actually going to push up from centre back to the deep line playmaker support role. And when we actually have a look at him, his key first role is to play as a deep line playmaker on defend. And the only difference we're going to have is not going to be defending, he's going to be playing as a support. And I just think that when we look at how many greens he's already got for that position, I think playing him at centre back just sort of wastes a couple of bits of his talent. So he's going to be playing there alongside Louise, and their backups will be Skip will be the backup for Louise, and Kovacic will be the backup for Gouchard. Now that's not a definite with Kovacic, because Kovacic is already 32, and I don't like any players over the age of 30 in a team. So if I can get a decent deep line playmaker to be a backup to Gouchard, Kovacic may find himself on the way out. But purely because of the way he played last season, I am probably going to end up keeping Kovacic there. And it's always good to have an old head within a young team, I suppose. Now, our box-to-box midfielder will continue to be Pellegrini, although he's not fully suited to that role. He still covers pretty much everything you'd want him to cover. Tackling could be a bit better, his finishing could be a bit better, but all round, his mentals, he's got the technicals to play that role, and even his physicals ain't too bad. Now, the backup to Pellegrini will be Greco. Didn't get to see much of him last season. He was injured for the majority of it, and I just think that playing him as a box-to-box, he will develop. He's only 21. He's already worth 51 million. His mental's already looking off the charts, and his physicals are better than what Pellegrini's are anyway. Up top, we've got Morano playing as an advanced playmaker, and Danny Olmo as the attacking midfielder. Again, I'm not entirely sure if Olmo's going to be staying. If I get a decent bid for Olmo, I'll accept it and bring in a world-class attacking midfielder. If not, I'm happy to go with these 2 there. And their backups will be Hitarian and Bellingham. Up front, I'm not going to get rid of Haaland. 54 goals last season. He was only brought in last season, and he's done a fantastic job. And hopefully he will continue to do a fantastic job. The difference this coming season will be Telis Magno, who was a right winger for us last season as an inside forward. I am going to move up to as an advanced forward. He's got the stats for the attributes for it. His work rate could be a bit better, but other than that, I think his attributes are there for it. Even his heading's not too bad. And at 23, I think he'll make a good backup for Haaland. In my 12th and final substitute role, I'm going to keep Mason Mount. A couple of reasons. He's English, so adds to the English quota. Another reason, he can play in that defensive midfield, central midfield, and attacking midfield role where we've got 5 positions available. I know we've got a backup player for each position, but if you get a long-term injury, he's going to cover 5 potential players that could be out. He's got the mentals to do all of it. His physicals are good. And as far as his technicals go, heading lets him down in his marking. So as long as even when he's in the defensive midfield role, he's going to have someone alongside him who can help him out with that. That leaves the players that we're willing to get rid of in this transfer window. Now, Tagliafico is already leaving with on a free at the end of the season, so I'm just going to set for release there. Dean Henderson is worth about 10 million. If we can get a bid in for him, I will be happy to accept. Again, Chiesa, another great player. I will be sad to see him go, but 73 million and on 275,000 a week to not get in the team it's a little bit. It's hard to see him staying, to be honest with you. So if we can get somewhere around that sort of fee, I'll be more than happy. And Humberto, another young player here. I wasn't sure what to do with Humberto. It was a toss up between him and Magno to be the backup in the advanced forward role, but I think Magno just scraped it, to be honest with you. And Humberto is already wanted by Atletico Madrid, so if they come in with a decent bid for him, I'll let him go. Now, Bill, another signing I made at the start of my tenure at Chelsea, he hasn't done what I wanted him to do as an advanced forward. Now, he would be the preferred choice to be back up to Haaland, but this season when he did come in, okay, he got 13 goals in 13 starts. I just felt there could have been more out of him. And I think maybe what I want to do with him is actually loan him out for a season to a top club where he can play week in, week out, and possibly develop into that star advanced forward I think he can be. As far as players that are coming through the system at the moment, we've got Prescott as a striker who's coming through, progressing well. We've got Glenn Clark as an attacking midfielder, but we're not looking for an attacking midfielder at the moment. I mean, he is best off as an advanced playmaker, but we'd probably play him as an advanced attacking midfield. I mean, his mentals are really good down. Do you know what? I'm looking at this guy and thinking maybe we should just get rid of Olmo. Wow, I didn't even realise this guy was as good as this 22-year-old English guy. What is the comparison between him and Danny Olmo? Sort of polygraph, whatever you call this, is already showing he's very rounded. He's not quite as good attacking or technical as Danny Olmo, but he is still improving, whereas Olmo is on the slippery slope down now. Attributes. Don't let this scare you. We actually need to see what position he's going to be playing to decide just how good he is. So, attacking midfielder on support. So, his dribbling's not great. He's near enough level on his first touch. He's behind on his long shots, but ahead on his passing. Behind on his technique just. Behind on anticipation, composure. Ahead on decisions. Flair's just behind on off the ball, and just behind on agility. He's really close to being able to push Olmo for that position. I think I might move him up to the first team squad and have him as a player that I'm willing to loan out. So look in the under 23s. I don't think there's anyone else. How has Blanco got on since being away? It'd be a box-to-box midfield. His finishing's just not there for that sort of position. Deep line playmaker he can play as. Again, his teamwork's not really right. I think another couple of seasons of him being loaned out is going to be needed. And anyone in the under 18s looking like they're ready to come through yet? This could cure our left back position. I know he's a left back. On a wing back attack, how does that leave him? Not perfect. Acceleration's a little bit slow. I'm gonna put him into the senior squad. Back in the senior squad, so we're just gonna have Clark and Goodmanson as players that we may potentially bring in the left back position, and Goodmanson into the Danny Olmo position. Then it'd be a choice between whether we have Olmo start or Clark start or even Bellingham. So now we know what we are in need of to improve our team. Here's the budget. We've got £173 million to spend and £815,000 a week to do it with. I will let you know as the deals go through. Okay, so we've had our first offers come in for one of the players we want to get rid of. So Dean Henderson may be leaving for one of these three clubs. I'm just going to have a look and see if I can up any of the offers. Just flick through them first of all and see what is what on there. Well, we'll definitely accept that one. 20 grand a week to pay him isn't that much. Let's have a look at Ajax. It's not such a good deal, but I'm just going to accept it. 7 million at the end of the day. 6.5 million from. That's only half a million. Right, we are going to just accept all of them. We don't need a third goalkeeper at the club. We've got players in the youth system if we need it. But if we're going to have Kepa and this new goalkeeper that we're bringing in, we won't need all of them. Right, we've had our second batch of offers come in for a player that we're trying to get rid of. Federico Chiesa. He's valued at 73 million, and both Inter and Arsenal have come in for him. Just going to have a look through, see if either of them are available to make moves on them. It looks as though both are exactly the same deal. Right, let's accept Arsenal. I'm going to accept both of them anyway. He's been a good servant for me. His preferred destination's Inter, even if it's going to cost me 5% of the transfer. I think he's been a good enough servant to deserve that. Now, don't get me wrong, he's going to be a big miss. So we've had a number of offers come in for Matthias Humberto, who we are trying to get off the books as well. So we will just take a look through these and see if any of them can be moved, who's going to be offering what. So Atletico 30 million, Everton 28, Hertha Berlin 28, Leeds United 20 plus 30 in add-on in instalments, which is what we've actually asked for. So I'm going to accept that one first of all, just because they're offering what we've actually asked for. And Watford are also offering what we've asked for. So we'll accept that as well. Now we're going to need to budge some of these, because unless I'm getting a similar amount, Berlin are going to accept that, so I'll go with that. Atletico, let's see if we can get the same amount as what everyone else has offered. Atletico are being a bit stingy on theirs, so if we go 47, nah, that's not happening. And Everton, let's add another 30 million to that. Another 20 million, 48, same as Hertha. And Everton are happy to accept that. So hopefully out of the 4 accepted offers, we'll be happy to go to one of them. I mean, he's been a good signing for us. He's not got a position in this team now. Is he one that I made the signing of? No, he'd already joined us, 11 million back in 21-22 season. And as you can see, since he's been here with me, just hasn't made the appearances you'd expect him to. But if we can get 50 million or close to 50 million for him, it'd be well and truly worth it. So the signing of Desiree has been confirmed. And we can actually have a proper look at him now. Sweeper, keeper, and attacking role. His eccentricity and his first touch are not brilliant, but everything else is well up there. And if we do a comparison with him and Kepa, who is the guy he's going to be replacing, I mean, technically, Kepa's probably the better goalkeeper. Yeah, I'd give it to Kepa on that. The mentals work for Kepa as well. Decision making's better for Desiree, as his positioning and vision. And then his physicals are better than Kepa's as well. And he is only 23, so he's only going to grow as a goalkeeper. I still think it's the right decision that he's going to be coming in as number 1. So the first player that I'm interested in signing as my centre-back backup would be this lad here, Juan Diego Buen Preto. If we have a look at him as a centre-back, he looks like he has everything covered that you'd want. And to say he's only be a backup at 19, he's just going to grow into a fantastic player by the looks of it. Now, Madrid are only have valued him at 42 million. We don't really want to pay as much as 42 million for a backup. I wonder what would happen if we went in at 20 plus add-ons with after league appearances. If he plays 50 games for us, we'll give him another 7.5 million. They're happy with that. I'm happy with it. Probably could have gone for a little bit less than that, but I'm happy with that. Let's make the offer and confirm that. So that's our first offer made. So down to the contract for Bueno Prieto. He wants 55 to 72 grand a week is what we believe we can be paying for him as a squad player. Let's get this negotiated. I don't want to promise that he's going to become an important player, but he could become a regular starter by next season. He's happy with that. Let's see what we can come up with on his contract. He wants 5-year contract. His agent has said that is non-negotiable. I don't like these here, remove and exclude. And if we can remove that, bring him down to 45 a week, give him a sign-on fee of 3 million, appearance fee of 18, a clean sheet bonus of 18. Let's try that. Okay, let's get rid of that. Jumps to 67 after 20 games, but starts on 60k a week. What about 55k a week? He still wants, after 25 games, gets to go up to 80. Right, we've managed to do a deal with him there. Happy with that? I think that is going to solve our centre-back position. This is interesting. Now, I did say at the start of this episode, if I got a decent offer for Kovacic, I would have to think about it. He's got a year left on his contract, currently valued at 39 million. There's been an offer from Lyon, 27 up front, 4 million after that, 8 million after he hits 50 games for him. We would have to pay 100 grand a week for the next year to get rid of him. Okay, I'm going to accept it. I'm sure I'll be able to get in a backup deep line playmaker for that. Okay, Chiesa has decided Inter is his destination. He's rejected a contract offer from Arsenal. We will place the accept button there. So that has been accepted. That will go through on the 1st of July. It's been a pleasure, Chiesa, and I hope you have a fantastic future with Inter. It'd be nice to see 73 million come in. And we're about to accept our second deal of the summer. Henderson has agreed to move on to SLB Benfica for 6.5 million. We will continue to pay £12,000 a week for him to move on, but I am happy with that deal as well, so we'll accept that. So we're just going to ask our director of football to find us a transfer target in a defensive midfield role with deep line playmaker attached. This is if Kovacic is to leave, we need to bring someone in who can play that role for us. Looks like a fairly decent player though. And make a solid backup. How much would we get him for? It says 45 million. When did we do that? How did you get him for 45 million? That's interesting. It's not got a release clause. Offer a cheeky 45 million. It's transfer listed. Ooh. Let's offer a cheeky 20. 20. What happened there? Let's go straight 45 million. Okay. So I'm going to finalise that offer. This may be the man that's going to replace Kovacic if Kovacic does come in. Okay, so this guy's going to want 245 to 325 a week. But he's not going to be a regular starter, in my opinion. I'll start negotiations. I will let him come in as a regular starter. Doesn't mean that's what he's getting. He needs to be in the hundreds a week if he wants to join us. I'll give you a big sign-on fee, and I'll give your agent a nice amount. You can also take 60 a week for every time you play, 250. And they're disappointed with the start. 195, 250, not even moving. 210, 240, moved a little bit. 220. I said 275 was the minimum. He's took 220. I'm not overly uncomfortable with that. So we will go with that. He would make a good signing. Ooh, Arsenal made a late offer for Kovacic there. 28 million up front, 5.5 million on instalments, 8 million after 50 games. And crucially, I've not got to pay any of his wages after this. Let's get that accepted. So the deal for Mathis Berto to join Everton is ready to go through. I'll get that accepted. I'm going to make a parting comment to him. I always make these comments. Been a fantastic servant. Always best to stay on the right side of these players. You never know if you're going to want them back at the end of it. So Vera's set to sign for us. However, Kovacic hasn't agreed his terms with either of the clubs bidding for him. I'm going to delay it, so I don't want to be stuck with him and Kovacic. Hopefully, there won't be any issues delaying. And our next transfer has gone through. Diego Bueno Prieto, ready to sign for us for a fee of 20 million and then 7.5 million after 50 games. So we get that accepted now. So this is our first deal of the summer done. It's got a 3-star squad potential at the moment. Could improve to a 5-star potential. And he's got a fan reaction of a B. 55 grand a week for a backup centre back. I do not think that's bad at all. Language course and get Kepa to get around his teammates. Kovacic has agreed a deal with Arsenal, meaning we're not going to have to pay wages for him anymore. That's 33.5 million up front and then 8 million after 50 games. I'll accept that, make a parting comment to him and passionately tell him he's been a fantastic servant. So it's official, Kovacic has joined Arsenal, leaving us needing a deep-lying playmaker, which we will sign in the coming weeks. We have Vera already ready to sign. We just delayed the deal for a week so we could make sure the Kovacic deal went through. So we've had an interesting offer coming for Dani Olmo from Wolves. They are offering 33.5 million all in to take Olmo from us. But they also want us to give him £155,000 a week. Now, I just don't think this is enough for a player that's still deemed an elite attacking midfielder and a player that I haven't actually put on a transfer list, so that is getting rejected. So we can finally complete the signing of Vera. We are in the position to do that now. Now Kovacic has moved on. He's signing for 45 million. Bear in mind we got 39 for Kovacic, I think, or 41, somewhere in that region. So pretty much like for like. I'm happy to be making this signing permanent. Let's just get that done. And there's confirmation of the completion of Fasto Vera signing for us from Zebra, 45 million. It's got a 4-star consistent report and a 4-star potential with a B- fan reaction. So they're happy that he's coming in as well. Just going to ask Pellegrini to integrate him with the squad. And I'm also going to send him on an intensive language course. So the fixture list has been released for next season. So we're going to start with Stoke away from home, and then Arsenal, West Ham, Bournemouth and Manchester United make up our first 5 fixtures of the season. Boxing Day, we are going to be at home to Wolves, and then final day of the season is going to be us versus Manchester United. That, going by the last 2 seasons, could turn out to be a title decider. So we've got to the 1st of July and the Spanish transfer window is now open, and we have had another offer for Dani Olmo. Again, it's 33.5 million. This time it's from Atletico Madrid. Olmo has actually said that he would like to go to Atletico. I'm going to stall the offer for a week, have a look into this, because I'm not overly sure it's the best move for us to let him go. So as things stand, this is the team that we've put together throughout this transfer window. We've now got Desiree going to be the goalkeeper, James Tamori, Brewster, Norman across the back line, Louise and Gouchard as the holding midfielders, Pellegrini as the box-to-box midfielder, Morano and Olmo playing behind Haaland. That will be the starting 11. The goalkeeper for the subs would be Kepa. Right back would be Bonucci. The 2 centre backs would be Christiansen and new signing Bueno Prito. And Goodmanson would be the left back. And Goodmanson is the lad that we've brought in from our youth academy. He's got a 4.5-star potential. He's already looking very good at 17. It's whether I am willing to risk this being our only left back if Norman was to pick up an injury. It's a tough one. I've got the money sitting there to go out and buy a fantastic left back if I really wanted to, but I just think, do I really need to spend the money? I don't know. We've then got Skip in for Louise if we need be. And then we've got Vera, who will be the backup to Gouchard. So if we just bring Gouchard up here, and they are playing as a deep line playmaker on support, it's very even. If you add up the amount of greens to blues, it's very even throughout. I'm going to go with the younger of the two, so Vera will be my backup. Gouchard will be my first choice. And that's pure and simply because I think Gouchard's going to go on to be something very special and a mainstay at this club. We then have Greco as the box-to-box midfielder backup. Itarian and Bellingham will be the backups for the players that sit behind the striker. And as we said before, Magno will be the backup to Haaland up front. Mount is going to be our unique player that will go all over the pitch if need be, if we get too many injuries. And then we've still got Glenn Clark and De Beal that we're going to look for loan moves for both of these players, as I think that they will both have a future at this club. I think we've got rid of everyone that we wanted to get rid of. And if we just have a look at what we've got left in the budget, 253 million now, and 925,000 still left to pay available. If we go into transfer history, just from this season alone, you can see we've made £155 million in signings, including that £90 million for the goalkeeper, and we have managed to claw back £161 million from sales, and those sales include Chiesa for £73 million, Humberto for 48 million to Everton, and Kovacic with a 41 million move to Arsenal. So bringing in Vera for Kovacic, there's no real change in that. As far as bringing in Prieto, who's going to play at centre back, there's nothing really to say on that matter. We needed a centre back to be a backup, and this guy just seems to have everything that you'd want. So just from there, you can see Optimum Fend, so many greens already, still only 19. Is he described as a wonder kid? He is described as a wonder kid as well, so he's going to keep growing. Okay, so we've got a offer for Dani Olmo from Atletico Madrid. We're going to need to make a decision on whether we want to keep this or whether we want to sell. What do you think we should do on this offer? A very interesting one. So Captain James has come to me to let me know that he doesn't think Morano is himself at the minute and is wanting a new contract. Let's see what Morano's got to say for himself. Just wanted a chat. Didn't even want the contract. Oh, I've just had this pop up. Chelsea yet to discuss terms with Bonucci. Now, he's definitely a player that I want to keep hold of. If we just take a look at him, you can see why. He is my wing-back attack backup to Reece James, but as you can see at 19, he's already starting to look really good for that position. So I need to get him tied down to a new contract. I wonder what he's actually going to be after. So he wants squad player this season, regular starter next season, and an important player. I can't offer important player, I don't think. Reece James will still be that position. But he's happy with just getting as far as regular starter. Let's negotiate terms. He's currently on 19 grand a week. He wants to basically treble his wages. Let's see if I can get him to agree to in the 40s. 48k a week. 62. What about 50? 59, and he's come down like 3 grand each time, and he's already getting annoyed, for wanting a better word, to be honest with you. Let's just 57, and he's agreed to 57 grand a week for 4 years, so I'm happy with that. We'll finalise that. Big offer's been made for one of my former players, Esportito, potentially going to Man City for a potential £138 million. Just take a look at the striker. He is a fantastic forward. He left Inter not last summer, the summer before when I left Inter, and went to PSG. They'll be getting a fantastic player if they sign him. Lazio have made a loan offer for De Beal. Let's have a look at what the offer is. 40% of his wages. If he's going into, he's got to go in as an important player. And I want 100k a month just as a payment for him to be there. They don't want to pay that. Let's up his wages 60% then. They've withdrawn their offer, feeling that they can't stretch that far. I'm sure another offer will come in. Zebra have come in with an offer for De Beal now. I'm going to put him down as a star player. I don't even care about the money if he's going to Zebra. And they're happy to have him as a star player in their team. Well, we'll accept that, and hopefully he's happy to go over there. Atletico have come in with another offer for Olmo. Again, it's the 33.5 million. Not really sure what to do in this point. I'm going to stall the offer. So after my director of football found me a good defensive midfielder to replace Kovacic with, I'm going to see if he can do the same with an attacking midfielder, just in case I decide to let Olmo go. So we've got a couple come up here. First one's Acuna from Liverpool. And at 22, he's looking pretty good already. Love that determination, 20 determination. His technique's well up there. His long shots are pretty good. He's got good agility and pace. Who's put a bid in for him already? Oh, they've got lots of loan bids going in for him. Just going to scout him. And I will also scout, well, he's already been scouted actually, Mac Allister. He's at Lazio. He's an Argentinian. Let's have a look. Lots of greens. Anticipation lets him down slightly. Let's compare him with Olmo. I wouldn't be getting anything better than I've already got. I think I'm going to reject the Olmo bid. So Christensen is going to get a testimonial. Chelsea will pay tribute to Andreas Christensen when they play Borussia Mönchengladbach in a specially arranged testimonial on Saturday. Now in his 14th year with the Blues, having played 286 games. The match will be a fitting tribute to the Chelsea stalwart. Be an interesting game. Bonucci was granted his work permit and has signed a new 4-year deal with us, worth £13 million, still classed as a wonder kid. That was really good for us. For everyone wondering how the testimonial went, it finished 1-0 to us. And Danny Olmo, man of the match performance, Erling Haaland with the goal. Gouchard has been named Best Young Player at the World Cup. 5 appearances, 2 assists, a 7.54 average rating for the young Frenchman. Tomori was selected for the World Cup Dream Team, playing centre-back for England. There's a lot of English players in there. So we're finally going to reject this offer for Danny Olmo. I think it's the best option for us. There's not much else out there that we're going to get for that sort of money. And I think he's still got a lot to offer us, even though he didn't get the game time last season. With us going to 2 central attacking midfielders this year, I think he's going to get his opportunity. So Atletico have now come in for another central attacking midfielder of ours, Hitarian. And I can tell you straight away, 71 million is not going to budge me at all. Coming back with 90, maybe. Man City have in fact made the signing of Esportito, 138 million, 300 grand a week. That is a signing that even I would have made. I will be interested to see just what he does in the Premier League. And the bill is set to go on loan to Zebra for the year. Let's just accept that and make a parting comment. I've made the decision to loan you out so you can continue your development. Depending on how you progress, we will reevaluate your position in the squad when you return. And he's happy with that. So Atletico have come in with another offer for Danny Olmo. This time they have left it as a negotiable offer. Okay, this is to ward them off. 71 million. That's it, they've gone. If they had given me that, then I'd have accepted it and went and found someone for that position. Right, let's carry on. So we've come to the end of July. There's been no more ins and outs. We have let Diego Debil go to Zebra, but that's it. I'm a manager that tends to get all the transfers done early on rather than in August. So that's not to say there won't be any transfers in August, but if there is, I will let you know. As far as I'm concerned, I've got the team now that I am ready to go forward with, and hopefully mount a challenge for a Champions League this year. So just before we go, we've got a couple of friendlies to go. Then I will record the first 2 games of the season, Stoke and Arsenal. And we've got, in fact, no. So before we go, I have popped us on here just so you can see the balance. We've got 512 million in the bank. 253 million pounds left to spend on players. Not that I think we're bringing anyone in, and still 6 million wage budget to go. I will be back for the Manchester United Charity Shield game and the Stoke first game of the season. I look forward to seeing you then. If you have enjoyed this, please leave us a like, share and subscribe to the channel to see more content. Thank you very much.